And that is what you want, really, isn't it? You want a happy client, you know, you want a great experience. I know I'm super passionate about that.
G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. We are still in Tassie and I'm not even going to do a big intro for this fella because most people will know him and I'm super pumped to have him on the podcast. This chat's been coming for a long time, so a massive warm welcome to Sean from Tassie Builders Blog, mate. How are you?
Thanks for having me, mate. Really good to be here.
Mate, I can't believe you're sitting in front of me. Like, we've had a few conversations on social media and messaging and stuff, but
We have.
And you're the first guest that's turned up. You didn't just turn up like on time. You turned up half an hour early, and you bought beers.
How good. I like to be prepared.
Yeah. So how are you, mate?
Yeah, really good. Really good. First year out in business now, you know, learning lots quickly and that. But as a whole, everything's just unreal. Yeah, going really well.
Yeah. Your passion is infectious. Like, for people that may not follow you or know what you do, like, you put yourself out there on social media. You're very passionate about your career and carpentry and materials and all that type of thing. But your passion is infectious.
Yeah, I guess I don't really notice that. Certainly don't think of it from that perspective. I just really love what I do and want to share that with people. And if people find that interesting, that's great. If not, they can scroll on and I'll keep on posting stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I find it amazing, like, because you're coming on here and like always trying to do a little bit of research on people, but like I knew a bit about you because of the conversation we've had and stuff, but
Yeah.
I found it very interesting to go all the way back to when you started your page, and your very first post says exactly what to expect on that page, and you've stayed very true to that.
It's pretty easy because I guess it's just genuine. It's just like I am just sharing who I am and what I'm passionate about, what I believe in, and yeah, it's easy to stay consistent on that because it's just the truth, I guess.
Yeah. Something I've noticed just being down in Tassie this week, and we've interviewed a heap of people, it seems like such a really tight, and I might be wrong, but all the people we've met all either know or know of each other, support each other, speak very highly of each other.
Yeah.
Like, does that make it easy for you to do what you do because you've got a lot of support around you?
Yeah, well, it is like we are a pretty small island, and everyone does generally know everyone's business. That's what kind of happens on an island. We sort of forget that we're on an island, I guess, and the new mainland folk, as we refer to you. But yeah, it's like a really good growing building community down here. A lot of support.
I feel like you're leading the way.
Yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to better building, healthier homes, like just even your government seems like supports you. You get funding for courses and
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, all that stuff. Like, and what excuse do you have not to stay educated down here, especially because it's like, well, 80% of it's probably going to be paid for, mate, and you're going to be able to advertise yourself and sell your business as a higher educated individual, more professional.
Yeah.
So like you got the opportunity to learn every day, so you just got to grab a hold of that and run with it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit. Like, where did it all start? Like, what got you into carpentry?
Oh, well, not the traditional path, I would say. Most blokes that are as in love with the trade as what I am probably knew about it in school. Maybe their dad was a chippy or like in the trade in some way. I was working, renting DVDs when that was still a thing. That's
The old Blockbuster?
yeah, Blockbuster Video Easy, same deal.
Yeah.
And it was like just a retail job. I was stuck inside, and I was just like, I hate this. It's like perfect day, unreal weather, stuck in here, like selling DVDs to like bogans down at Kmart. And I was talking to my dad, and I said, I really want to, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be working outside. And he knew a guy that was working on a building site, and his brother was the foreman or something like that. And I said, oh, well, just put me in touch with him, you know, like, I just want to get outside. I don't care what I'm doing. I just want to be doing something that's not stuck inside selling DVDs. Anyway, I talked to this bloke, went down on site, and I was like, yeah, well, I just want to work, mate. I don't know what else to tell you. And he said, oh, do you? And I was like, well, I brought me lunch, so I can start right now. And he was like, yep, go and get into it then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And that was like
So
an
you
interesting
committed
job.
100% straight in.
Yeah, well, I went to Kmart, bought myself like a crappy high-vis t-shirt, went down, introduced myself to this bloke, and then that was the start. My apprenticeship came sometime after that. Spent a fair bit of time as a builder's labourer. Just at the bottom of the run, I guess, like doing all the shit jobs, but I didn't care. I was outside. I was like, this is the best thing ever. You like get to work outside. Yeah, it was just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, your passion's infectious, and I think there's a good message there for younger people that want to get into the industry. Like, you've got to do whatever it takes. Like, for me, like as an employer, like if someone turned up to me and said, "Hey, my lunch is in the truck, I'm ready to go," I'd be like, "Mate, well, yeah, go over there, help the boys, get into it."
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like, I think it's that, like, we've gone through that generational change. It's a bit harder to find that out of the younger blokes or females. But I don't know. It sort of is what it is. Like, you can either whinge about it, like, oh, they fucking don't work as hard as what they used to, or it's like, oh, we can find a way to motivate these people, communicate with them.
Yeah,
you just got to adapt to it. Because I used to get pissed off with it. I'm like, oh, this generation's shit. Like, they're not going to work hard. They don't want to do anything. But yeah, they just have a different mindset or something.
It's completely different. Like, there's no. I believe it goes back to school. Like, there's not as many expectations now as there was when I was at school. Like, everything had to be done in a certain time frame, and if you didn't, there was a punishment. And it's now it's just you do what you do, and it takes as long as it takes.
Yeah. I don't think that's helpful. Maybe we'll come back the other way. You know, like sometimes it swings really far one way, and the pendulum just comes back, and we get back in a direction that makes sense. Who knows if that's going to happen anytime soon?
Yeah. So how long, like, was it? Well, you've only just gone out on your own. Like, you're not that old. You're only a young fella.
33.
But so did you? What? How old were you when you started your apprenticeship?
I was hanging out till I was 21 because I was living out of home, couldn't afford like the lower apprentice wage, and like I could have gone back home. I just didn't want to. Like I just wanted to, once you move out, who wants to go back, right? Like, I've been back a bit and it's not that great. And your parents don't even want you there at half time anyway. They're like, no, you left, mate, so get the fuck back out.
Before you started yourself, you've been working for Kyle as a Netto Builders.
Yep.
Did you work for anyone else before?
Yeah, worked for a heap of different guys. Yeah, just finding, like, the work that I like doing, I guess. When I finished my apprenticeship, I was in a maintenance carpentry job, like cleaning out gutters, and I was like, man, if any of my friends see me doing this, what the fuck? This is not being a chippy. Like, this is standing walls and throwing trusses around. Did that for a bit, went into renovation work. That was really cool. You had to think a lot. Everything wasn't like square and straight and
fresh
that.
and new.
So I feel like you learn so much doing that sort of work. You have to think outside the box. It can't always be plumb. Like, sometimes it's just got to look good, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you put something up that's plumb and it's next to something that's way out of plumb, the client's going to be like, well, it's not right. And you could argue the fact. But yeah, you learn a lot of skills there.
Renovations are massive, like, for like not just picking up new skills, but just seeing how things were done, how things have failed, what can be done better.
I think the first time I came across something of yours on YouTube, you were pulling apart an old house and you were talking about like the jack stud or the understud wasn't cut to the correct length, so there was a sag, and I just like, that was the first video I ever saw, and that's when I got hooked on your stuff. I was like, oh, this is unreal. I think you're the first one really that I've seen that was like really putting stuff out there, putting videos on YouTube, at least inside Australia, from as far as I can tell, mate. So
cheers, mate. Now we got Australia's #1 construction podcast.
That's it.
But look, I never used to be like it took a lot of persuasion from my wife and a marketing girl that we had at the time for me to start putting my face out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best thing I've ever done. Like, that's.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't look back on it now, would you?
No, well, but for me, like now I can't encourage people enough to get it out there. Like a video says so much. And when you do video, and this is why I love what you do, like you can educate hundreds or if not thousands of people by that one video. Rather than having the same conversation over and over again.
Yeah.
But a video shows your values, it shows your opinions, it shows your posture. Like it says so much.
Yeah.
And so you connect with people. You're basically creating friendships almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
like I've never met you in person before, but I reckon I could say we're mates.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that's what sort of video has the power of doing.
It's the good side of the internet. Like there's a shit side, which is like distracting people from everything.
Yeah.
And then that is one of the good things is like lately, certainly like it seems to be a really positive community that's growing. You get the odd troll here or there, but fucking whatever. So
what purpose with
standard, I guess, in Australia, not all that great building job, keeping buildings standing up and down, but as far as weather tightness, like we've gone and added insulations and the unintended consequences, I feel we're pretty far behind in that.
Well, it's fucked, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like that, mate, to have a building code that allows buildings to get built 20 to 30 year long, like, and we talked about it before we started the word sustainable. I agree with you. Like it's thrown around here, there, and everywhere. It doesn't really have any meaning anymore. But like, how sustainable is it? Is it in 20 to 30 years are knocked down and put in a hole in the?
Yeah. Well, and I'm no tree that but how is that? That's not it. We haven't figured that bit out. The answer. Yeah. Like these living in. They need to last a whole lot.
Yeah.
All the time, money, the natural resources, the environmental impact that has. If you're only getting 30 years out of that investment, that's shit.
It's
like,
terrible.
Who's buying into that?
Well, everyone is. Like a lot of people are. Like, I would really like to think the houses that I'm building, my building company, will last at least 100 years.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, we've hardly left the house in the last few days here in Tassie, but I know just from going down the main street and that here, like, I feel like connected here because it feels very similar. Like up in Queensland, like I can drive past Queenslanders that are 100, 120, 140 years old and give them a coat of paint and they're going to last another 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't, like, obviously they had hardwoods, the timber was very old. Like it's very hard to find good, solid timber now because it's all regrowth.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we can't change our practices to still get the same outcome.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, it has a lot to do with what you're passionate about, like the water tightness.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, with the way we build these days, what makes things fail is moisture.
It's the universal solvent, water. Like, that thing will humble you very quickly. It humbled me. Like, I started sticking a hose on things that I thought were good, and it turns out they were shit. So, something had to change.
But what made you do that? Like, because most people just keep doing what they do, not give a shit.
I guess maybe I've just got a curious mind or something like that. Yeah, like I guess the YouTube algorithm threw me a few things, like threw a few hooks in and got me pretty good. Yeah. And then once you just get on this like little learning cycle of, oh, that's actually shit. How do you do it? And then you go into this thing and you're like, oh, that's actually connected to that and that's connected to that. And then there's the whole concept of your house is a system. You're not just like, it's those things it's like your body thing operates in isolation. Yeah. It's all one big system that these things flow into, one thing flows into the other, into the other, into the other. I don't know, that's like a reflection of nature, I guess.
Well, it's a good way of putting it. I've just written it down, like a house is a system. Yeah. Like it needs to be treated like a business. Like you have to follow this whole series of systems to get from a bare block of land to a completed home that you can walk in the front door.
Absolutely.
Like, do you get people reaching out to you with all the stuff you're doing on socials and asking questions and getting engagement?
Yeah, like quite a bit. Yeah. Last year was a lot of apprentices, which I got heaps out of because the guy that I did my apprenticeship with, like, just typical hard ass, you know, like would ride you and you'll never be anything, you'll never become anything, you're shit, you'll always be shit, blah, blah, all that sort of stuff. So getting to a chance to chat to these younger blokes and just, you know, like even if you can give them one or two tips on how to do something and give them a bit of confidence behind themselves so they can, really thrive, I guess. Yeah.
I think you're going to be a good boss, mate. The way you've what have you been out on your own? 3 months?
Yeah,
4
3
months.
months. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're not gonna have any issues getting an apprentice. Like,
It's just finding the people at the moment. It's so hard. I don't know if it's the same up in Queensland, but so hard to find people.
even an apprentice.
Oh, we could pick. I'm just hesitant with seen it happen in businesses before. And me and my business partner, we've got like a very specific way that we want things to be done over years of working together.
Yeah.
So we're just careful on. We don't. I guess what I'm getting at is we don't want to grow too quick. You got to walk before you can run, or whatever they say. So
I take my hat off to you, mate, because there's not. So you've signed up to Live Life Build, you're part of our program now. Whether it's Live Life Build or something else, but anybody that is getting into the industry now, time, money, energy in yourself, but also get involved with communities and surround yourself with like-minded people. But for you to be 3 months in and to have a plan like that, because most people don't. Most people just go from being a tradie, I want to work for myself, I want to be a builder, I get a job, and then within the first 3 years it all falls over. To have some structure around it, you're going to go a long way.
Yeah. Well, I guess we've got our own goals and aspirations of what we want the company to look like in X amount of years, what we want our personal lives to look like. And we just got to stay the course. I've seen it happen so many times. People grow too quick, the quality goes to shit. Your reputation, you were a great builder, now you're a shit one because you've got 5 guys that can't frame a house or do whatever, and it can just it can turn so quick on you if you're not.
But where's that come from? The goal setting and stuff,
From Live Life Build, to be honest, because before that, I have not been much of a goal setter, I guess.
I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, well, surprise. But that's definitely one thing that I've learnt from you is that, and you've talked about that on your podcast before, and that's something that has resonated with me, and I've thought about that. I was like, well, why haven't you set goals? Are you scared of not achieving goals, or so if you don't have goals, then what are you doing right now? And where are you going?
Yeah.
So.
No, I'll set them big, mate. You're better to set big goals, achieve half of it, than set a low and get half of that low goal.
Yeah, and you don't want to turn around on your deathbed either and be looking back with regrets. Everyone says that, so.
I don't think you will be. So what, you've had a great experience. You work with other builders. You've finished up your subcontracting career with working with Zanetto Builders.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it's perception maybe, but Kyle definitely looks like he's leading the way down here. He's definitely putting himself out there. And I take my hat off to him as well, because he's not afraid to ask questions. Him and I have had some really good conversations over the past 12, 18 months.
Yeah.
And that's really important. In my early days, I was afraid to ask questions. And I don't know what changed. I just got to a point where I was like, fuck it. I'm going to ask anybody everything.
Yeah.
And that's definitely helped me get to where I am. Yeah. So, the fact that you're so young in business and reaching out and doing things and asking questions and surrounding yourself with people like Kyle.
Yeah. Well,
it's huge.
Yeah. It makes sense, I guess. They've been through half the shit that you're going to go through.
Yeah.
You want to know, what
100%.
we want to go through this thing,
It blows my mind. If you want to be something or have something or do something in life, why would you not learn from people that are doing it or done it?
Absolutely.
Rather than just...
it's going to save, not just the money, it's going to save one.
The time's the most important thing.
And, the money's nearly a nothing thing when you realise that the time, it's ticking.
Yeah.
You don't get, you only get it for so long, and then you're just not waking up anymore, so...
Well, imagine you reach out to someone that's doing what you want to do. You learn from all their experiences and their knowledge. You surround yourself with a like-minded community, and you save 5, 10, 15 years of ups and downs and round in circles. So, someone at your age, by the time, 10 years' time, you could be sitting back, have a great business, having time off, spending time with your young family.
Yeah.
Or you could be still busting your ass working 10, 12 hours a day, like worried about cash flow, not making enough money, not knowing your numbers. Like, which way would you rather have? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why people are scared to ask questions. It's funny.
All invest in themselves.
Yeah, yeah, the big one. And like my partner has taught me that because she's really good at that. And yeah, she's like, well, you got to put the work into you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it pays itself off, doesn't it? Like, pays back tenfold.
Oh, definitely. I did it. Like I rooted around for 10, 12 years. And I think I was talking about one of the other podcast guests yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but it's almost like as tradies, we may not think we're important or valuable enough to, or it doesn't suit us to do coaching, mentoring, or whatever that type of thing. But at the end of the day, it's all business. It doesn't matter what profession you are. It all works.
Well, yeah, other business types, they do it, don't they? Like, what's the difference for tradies? And I think it's changing now. It used to be like, oh yeah, you're just a tradie or whatever. Like, you're probably a bogan or some shit. But now it's like, man, you can make a shitload of money. You don't have to jump into a heap of debt to do it. You'll get paid to learn. Yeah. I think it is such an awesome, like, it's an awesome skill to have.
Mate, the construction industry, seriously, I'm a firm believer that over the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to lead the way. Yeah. Like, it'll catch up. Builders and traders will be more professional. We'll get respected more, treated with a bit more authority. Yeah. Because there is, like I said, there's a lot of people like yourself, like this podcast, like we're putting ourselves out there, we're lifting the game, and that's going to flow through to clients being happier.
Yeah.
You never know. It's coming, mate. We're going to see, instead of seeing all the shit stories on a current affair, we're going to see good stories.
Well, and that is what you want, really, isn't it? You want a happy client, you want a great experience. I know I'm super passionate about that, like how they feel throughout the build, because they're spending a lot of money with you, right? Yeah. So, like, they should be getting, in my opinion, the Mercedes service. Like, you need to be polite, professional, organised, all that sort of thing, yeah, I love that, like making the clients have a good experience. I love that. Cost me a lot of my spare time, I guess, but but I am really committed to that. I get a lot out of that.
I've seen, mate, with that attitude, you're going to have great clients. I recently seen a builder that's set up a business to, I'm not really too sure what it is, whether it's mentoring or coaching or something, but he's teamed up with all sorts of businesses. But like, I watched his video and I was like, man, that is so old school. And like, one of the things he said in this video, which is supposed to be encouraging builders and tradies to join up, is for every homeowner that says they've had a horror story, I can tell you multiple or 10 other trades that have had an even worse story. And I was like, man, that is really old-fashioned mindset, and that is a really shit way of thinking.
Yeah.
There's no ownership at all in that statement. If you're having those situations, it's because of the process you have in place that's attracting those clients.
Yeah.
And I was blown away that this sort of stuff is still getting put out there in our industry, that clients are terrible. Yeah. And I know for a long time that was my big thing. Like, I just saw every problem I had was because of shit clients.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely nothing to do with the clients.
Yeah.
It was 150% my fault. I wasn't educating them. I wasn't selecting them correctly. I was chasing cash. I was taking any client that come my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's there's so much more to it than just.
And the client education thing's a massive thing, because like, it's not always like malicious intent that these things, they just don't understand. Like, they just don't understand how this all goes and how this all works. And so unless you've taken the time to actually explain that to them, rather than just rush in, sign the contract, righto, let's go put a hole in the ground. Oh, yep, this is all these variations.
But I look back now at all the situations I had and when I was blaming the clients, and I just think, like, why wouldn't they have got the shits?
Yeah.
Like, it started off with tendering scenarios. So a lot of the time I remember signing building contracts, and the first time I met the client was the day I signed the contract, because the architect was running the tendering process.
Yeah.
So there was no relationship built. You didn't know each other. and then everything was rush. I need this quote back. Like this, it's got to get to contract. So you'd miss things, or you hadn't been. There was no process around being involved in design, so I didn't know what was getting discussed. I didn't know that there was things the client had discussed that hadn't been put on the drawings because I wasn't at the meetings. So then I'm on site and the client's expecting something, and then I'm saying, well, I've only built what's on the drawings, and then I'm charging variations. So like the client had every right to have the shits because I had no systems and processes to set standards, to set expectations, to select the right clients, to like the breaking that tendering scenario is huge. Like you touched on it before, you're getting into our pack process.
Yeah.
Like it is so important to build relationships.
And then like you say, and you don't want to give too much away about your course, but people like they might push back. Oh, why would I pay you to do what someone else is going to do for nothing? It's like, but they're not doing that. Look at all of that. Look how much value I'm giving you for that amount of money. Yeah. You'd be crazy not to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna save you 50 times that amount by everything that we're going to sort out before we get a contract.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if people have done it before, like have built before, they might be easier to convert. I don't know. But
yeah. But mate, what's some struggles you've had through your career?
Oh, I was pretty shit. Like I was a shit chippy. Like, man, these people, like I'm so thankful for some of the businesses that put up with me. Like I remember that guy that I did my apprenticeship with, he was like, you have the determination, you have no fucking skill. So you might make it, but you do not have, like, you are not talented at this. I remember the first day I got there, I broke like 6 10mm hammer drill bits in 5 minutes because I was just like, I had no clue about the trade tools, any of stuff like that. So I guess, yeah, like sticking with it and just staying committed to learning and developing and stuff like that.
But like, what kept you pushing through it? Like, if you were...
I guess maybe I'm just like dumb and determined, and I was like, no, I'm gonna figure this building thing out, you know. Yeah.
I wouldn't say dumb and determined, mate. Change your eager.
Yeah. But if I can do it, anyone can. Honestly, like man, not skilled at this building, and now like I can run a job, I'm running a business, you know, like so. I was down. If I can get to up here, like I honestly believe that anyone in the world can do it.
Yeah. Well, mate, I never would have picked that because like watching your stuff on Instagram, you're very positive. You're very confident in what you're doing.
Years of not doing it right, and then years of practice, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, what's with your building business? Like, what's the thing that's going to separate?
Our clarity of client communication, so they're going to be extremely clear on what they're getting. Good communication, I'm passionate about that, like communicating with people, even like just, I always say to, when I was working with Kyle and we had the apprentices, I'm like, if you don't get it, that's on me. It's my job to make you get it. So if I need to explain it in a different way, we need to be shown in a different way, that's all on me. So I love the communication side of things.
That's fantastic ownership.
And then educating the clients on the decisions that they're going to make and why building for durability and building for health and comfort is important. And it may well be important to them, but they just don't, they might answer a question in a specific way and you're like, well, that is comfort that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just, having the right asking the right questions, I guess, to be able to educate the clients on the best way forward for things and the best outcome for them. Because we're the profession, we know we're the mechanic about the car, and then it's our job to educate them about the thing so that they can make the informed choice.
Yeah. So why are those things important to you? The comfort, the health?
I guess for me, that is what being a good carpenter is about. Being a good builder is like building something that you can stand behind, that you can show your family built, like, or the family's family or the family's family after that. Something that's going to stand the test of time, a space that people are going to be able to thrive in. They're going to be able to, grow their kid in a house. It's not going to make them sick. The walls won't rot, things like that. And I hate to use the sustainability word, but like,
We'll have to create another word, mate.
yeah. But like, yeah, just conscious of the environment impacts. Not that I am like a huge, like I don't have dreads and all that sort of stuff, but
Well, it doesn't matter. Like
we only have one planet, and
that's my big thing. Like I shouldn't, but I talk about myself the same way. Like I'm not a greenie, not a tree hugger. I'm not a woo woo guy, but my big thing now that I really focus on is like, yeah, we only have one planet. Like, why take advantage of it? Why be wasteful? Like, I just want to go back to something we talked about before we started recording, where you said Mother Nature will always bring us home. Like, go back to that story you said.
about myself, like my own.
Yeah, when you were having tough
Yeah,
times.
okay. So I guess like we can get so distracted with societal things and Instagram and all the dopamine now shit. But I don't know how long that actually makes you feel for, right? And so when I was going through pretty hard times in my life, I was like pretty sad. Yeah, I remember being out. I don't know if you want to call it at with nature, but I was just out there and it was just me and nature was there. I always felt at peace there. And I feel like as a society, we're being pulled so fast away from that. So fast.
Everything's materialistic.
Yeah.
Like, even just taking the time to walk bare feet on the beach, bloody dirt, the bush, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so the reason I want to go back to that because I actually think you're right. Like I think Mother Nature, it might sound woo woo, but I think it's going to come full circle. Like there's so many people getting interested now in like where their building materials come from and what's put into them, and like I've really since doing like I was already into it, and then I did Zara's course, and then I talked to Paul the Baker Latrobe, and I've spoken to a few other people, and it just all makes sense. Like you look at like timber, for example, like we obviously in the old days we built with all first cut hardwood, very durable, and then over the time we're using more and more timber, so it's degrading. But then not only does the timber degrade, we're now pumping it full of chemicals for termite treatment and weather and H3, all this stuff. And so in the past, a long time ago, timber had its own natural abilities to fight mold and fungi and insects, and it's all gone.
Yeah.
And so now we have the, like, I'm only using timber as one example. Like, so we now have timber going into our homes that is full of chemicals.
Look at our food that we eat.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's crazy. Like it's a rabbit. It's like one of those rabbit holes you can just fall down. Yeah. But yeah, like look at the food. It's just, I guess it's a product of like how much stuff that we need to keep this beast turning over. I get like we need so many houses, we need so many cows, we need so many veggies, and we're just like the volume we can't keep. Like it seems we can't keep the quality.
Well, so I think it has to come back down. Like we need to focus on smaller, better designed, multi-function homes.
100%.
Like
where I'm living at the moment, I don't know how many square meters it is, but you could throw a rock from one end of it to the other. And we're happy there. You fill your house up with shit. Like if you strip it all back, most people don't need all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like my brother's looking to build a house. They don't have kids. And he wants a 4-bedroom house or something. I was like, but do you need, like, what do you want for?
Because society and real estate says that's what we need.
Yeah. Well, the real estate things, that's a funny one too, isn't it? Because they'll value a house up that's run down, like, and that'd be worth like multi-million dollars, right? And yeah, like, what about the maintenance costs on that? I might not understand enough about it, but yeah, that's one thing that doesn't make sense to me. You could have a house that's like it's in shit condition and you're paying for the block of land, the location or whatever. Yeah. But it's like, but that house is in shit condition. Like it is, it's like buying a secondhand car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when we buy a house, why don't we talk about the energy costs that are associated with that house? Because that is like a factor that will affect you. So why isn't that something that's discussed?
I'd love to see. I've spoken to a few developers about this, and Amelia and we've got another little side business going where we're building tiny homes and stuff. And one of my my grand plan at the moment, which is another business that we're trying to get off the ground, is I want to go into like modular prefab stuff that's built off site. A lot more control of the waste and the materials, and it's better environment for the people working on them. Like it's better for everything. But I would love to see. I hate that when I was brought up, like we had 800, 1200 square meter blocks. The houses were smaller, and mate, every afternoon, like me, my sister, all the kids in the area, like the rule was like when the street lights come on, you had to be home. But like, so everyone was in everyone's yards, like playing footy, cricket, making jumps, like outdoors, because we had space to do it. And I hate now that like people are living in the house takes up 70-80% of the block. You live in housing estates where the gutters almost touch each other, and no one's connecting with. And like I can't stand these new stats where they're saying like people spend 90% of their lives indoors. That's because they have no choice. They don't have a yard to go out into, or they live in like some of these new housing estates. Like they're becoming ghettos. Like everyone has so much materialistic shit that the garage becomes a storage area. So the cars end up on the driveway or out in the street. So one of my dreams, and like I said, I've spoken to a couple of developers about it. If they're not going to make the blocks any bigger, I'd like to see a 400 square meter block with a tiny or a modular home on it that is designed and built so well that a family of four can live in it. And we know it can be done. Like, because they do it in Europe all the time, and then use that other 350 square meters to have a outdoor barbecue area and a veggie garden and a lawn area where the kids can run around. Like I would much rather be sitting in a smaller house on a 400 square meter block, being able to look out my window and see my kids running around having fun in nature, chasing the dog, than live in a 300 square meter house on a 450 square meter lot with a pool in the backyard and no grass.
Oh, it's just crazy. And that's the thing about great design. You'll feel like you have all that space anyway. It's just efficient use of that space. Rather than like big open plan, wasted space, bullshit everywhere.
But it's led by, I don't know, we're told we need certain size houses with so many bedrooms and 2.5 or 3 baths and multi-purpose rooms and like all this shit. Another conversation that came up the other day on one of the podcasts, like the garages in our houses take up this massive footprint. Like what happened in the old days where you had a carport in the front yard and the cars were just cars. Like
Why does your car have to live inside? It can't feel the cold, like and then like the thing of having your garage like attached to your house and the indoor air quality problems that can cause. Like people don't realise like we're like little fish living in a fish bowl with this air. We've only got so much of it, and you're gonna put like exhaust fumes and VOCs and shit inside there.
Well, I feel like this stuff is not even on a lot of builders' radars.
Nah, not at all.
They're just given plans and slapping them up, and client's happy, move on to the next one.
Yeah, we need it's a massive education thing that needs to happen. I feel like it is getting better. There's a lot, like you're seeing more stuff pop up and you're like, oh, yep, this guy's thinking about that now and he's considering that. But I don't know what the clear fix is for that. I'd love to get involved at the TAFE level and start being like, well, this is what happens to your house and water's going to kill it. And probably that's what your building wrap's for. It's not just for cause.
Yeah, well, we need people at a government level that are, well, one, serious about solving the problem. But I think probably more important than that, actually understand the industry. Like, we have these people in power that make rules that do not have a clue what it takes to build a house, what goes into it, what's involved, the flow-on effect. I did this letter years ago. Like, I remember my wife getting the shits with me because I wrote this big rant and I sent it off to some people in power, and it was basically like just saying like how the construction industry supports the planet. Like, when you think about not just the end product, but every single material that goes into a building, and then the transport companies, the manufacturers, the suppliers, the forestry, the shipping, like, there is so much involved. And then when the house is finished, like most people build or renovate, they put furniture in it. So then you've got manufacturing, shipping, transport of all the materials that to build the furniture, the TVs, the appliances.
Oh, it's massive, isn't
Like,
it?
it's enormous. And we are such a huge part of the economy, and like, everyone deserves to live in a house. So why not start asking more questions and learning more, and let's all work together to figure out how we can build more affordable, more economical, better designed, more efficient, healthier homes. Like, I feel like it's such a serious thing that isn't getting taken seriously.
It's yeah, and your homes and the impact that can have on your health and your life. Like, look at what happened with Zara. Like, tragic run. Like, not being able to live in houses, all that sort of shit. Like, and not everyone's like that, but there's no safe level of mold for us.
Well, it's not just mold. Like, it's like you said, the VOCs, the shit in the carpet. Like, it's insane. Like, people getting, there's so many sicknesses now that they're contributing to an unhealthy house, and people don't know. Like, they're getting diagnosed with all these things, and like, it could be you could have a sniffly or runny nose, and you might be getting told you got hay fever, or it's the time of year or whatever. But if you actually dig deeper, you might find that it's because of a chemical that's slowly getting released in your house, or some VOCs, or something in your carpet that you might lay on with the kids. Like, insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that links back into what we were talking about before of like how important being a builder or a carpenter, how important that job is when you think about it like that. I'm gonna build a box for you that will dramatically affect your health. Like, you're not just a tradie. Yeah, like, it's serious.
Yeah. No, well, mate, keep doing what you do. I love seeing your videos where you do put the hose on the flashings and stuff. You did one the other day. You were using a new product. I think it was some sort of joist protector, or it was like a drainage system for a deck or something.
Yeah, drainage system for a deck. So this client, they decided they've got deck on the second story and they want to have a hot tub below. And then, I don't know, I thought, like, it'd be real nice sitting outside, rainy winter, in the hot tub. It'd be shit if the deck was like dripping on you in the hot tub. So yeah, I found this thing. You just it's just a plastic product that creates a trough, and you link it up into a guttering system, and there's so much stuff out there.
Oh, it was awesome.
So many new products. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Didn't even cost that much. So
yeah, but like, just the fact that you've taken that upon yourself to look into it and give the client that option.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming the client was stoked when you brought it to the table.
Yeah. No, she was really happy. Like, unreal.
It's a mindset shift, isn't it? Because a lot of builders might think of that, but then the first thing that you're going to think is, they won't want to spend the extra money. I won't bother about talking about it.
That's their choice. It's your job as the professional to educate them. Hey, I've got this amazing product. It can do this for you, and it costs that much. Do you see value in that? Yes. Cool. Let's do it. No worries.
Yeah.
Give them the option.
And
then from a business perspective, great. Another sale, more markup, more revenue. Sweet.
Mate, you were going to kill it. I'm going to follow your journey very closely from now on, especially now you got all the Live Life Build stuff on board. What's the plans, mate? Like, with the building business, like, continue to educate people through the Tassie Builders blog, or will you start to do more on Haven Homes?
So great question. I got some advice from a few people that I really trust about that, because I didn't know what to do. I was like, will I convert this account to, you know, like boost my business, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, like the feedback that I got that I really just truly appreciated was, don't do that. Like your business is going to be like beautiful pictures of your houses and your projects and the way that you commute. You'll be talking to clients through that page because I want to pull business through that page. Tassie Builders Blog is all about educating people.
Yeah.
I can drink a beer on there. I can carry on. I can show a water leak, because most of the stuff, that's who I'm trying to get the message out there, is just to other blokes out there like me wondering what's going on. Like, how can we do things a bit better?
I agree 100%, mate. Like, doing stuff on a personal page can obviously help a bigger audience. So, like you just said, so the personal page can be very personal. You can show a bit of your character and having a beer or whatever, might do a bit of time with family or whatever. Whereas the building page is then that's showing the finished product.
Yeah.
So personal is, this is the person I am. Yeah. This is what I believe in. This is what I do. Yeah. Building businesses, this is the finished product.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, yeah, I trust that advice wholeheartedly, and that's what I'm doing. So
yeah, no, good on you. Keep doing it, mate. It's so refreshing to see. Like, I really, really love that there's so many, I don't know, mid-20s, late 20s through to like early 30s, mid-30s like yourself, that are just really putting themselves out there now and showing all this type of stuff, because it's going to flow through to the younger generation, the new trades that are coming through. I've really enjoyed hearing your passion about apprentices and the way that you think about training.
They're so important. Like, it's like raising good kids. That's carrying on. I don't want to get too woo-woo, but that's carrying on the human race. Like, you raise a good kid, and that kid has a good family, and they raise another good family, and what's the impact that has, you know? Yeah. So yeah, like, and bringing in apprentices and teaching them up, you got like, I don't know, you yourself, you've been in this industry a long time. You've got a lot to teach people, and like, think of the impact, like even with Live Life Build, all that stuff that you're teaching those people, that like how to run a successful and profitable business. That's just like, yeah, that sharing that knowledge, I guess, is what I'm getting at, and how much of a drastic effect that could save someone's life. You don't know.
Well, yeah, well, we have that feedback, mate. Like, we've been told multiple times that we've saved people's lives, we've saved their family, we've saved their business, saved their marriage. Like, like, not just Live Life Build. Like, this podcast gets those messages all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep reaching out to people like yourself, because you coming on here, telling your story, it'll inspire someone else.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Like, if the more information we share, the more knowledge we share, the better it is for everybody.
We're all in this game together, really. No one's truly got it 100% figured it out. We're all trying to figure it out. So,
well, you can't figure it out. Like, anyone that thinks they've figured it out is kidding themselves. Yeah. Like, it's the day you think you know everything is the day you should give up.
Yeah.
Like, because there's always something to learn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, mate, what we'll start to wrap it up, but like, what's the chill out for you? Because following your page, it looks like you never sleep.
Yeah. So that's a good question, because I guess that is like how far you can push it. I lost the chill out. Like, you work so tenaciously at something, and then you kind of forget who you are in a way. Some way. I remember going out bushwalking, and all I could think about was friggin' work. So I guess that is something for me that I need to work on, is like, you got to set that boundary, because work's always going to be there, and there's always going to be something to do. Like Kyle says, you never complete work. Like, you've finished level work and it's all over. There's always something to do. But yeah, getting out in nature is like, that's the reset. And cold showers, things like that. I don't know if you've done.
We were talking about this morning. I smash a cold shower twice a day at home. Like, that's pretty much, don't even turn the hot on.
Yeah.
And fuck, the last couple of days here, like, it's like having an ice bath standing under your showers.
Yeah, I've just started to get back in. I was doing the cold showers every day, and then I'm starting to get back into them now. Me and Zane are actually we were doing like a midweek mindset thing where we'd go do cold plunge Wednesday morning before we start work, get over the hump in the week, reset your brain, crack on. But the water's not cold enough, so I'm home in the shower, and it like, Doesn't matter. It's weird. I don't know how it works, but it doesn't matter how sad you are, how stressed you are, whatever you got going on, like that'll snap you out. Like I can't get out of there with like not having a grin on my face.
Yeah, it's so good for you. Like it's incredible how such a simple thing can have such a big impact.
Yeah. I recommend it to everyone. And it's funny, like even like the night before, and I guess this is like taking control of your mind and stuff, right? No, you don't fucking want to do that cold shower. And then I'll get in there, I'm like, you are such a little bitch. Like, you're turning that handle and you're going to stand under there until you're done. Yeah. It's good. It's unreal. Everyone should at least have one crack at it.
Well, I don't think I can even call Brisbane cold showers anymore after feeling the water down here. It is fucking cold. Do you guys use poly pipe and stuff down here, or is it all copper for you?
No, all poly. Yeah.
I was curious because I was like, man, like if you had copper pipe, like that would be making it more cold. But
yeah, no, it's just the average temperatures getting a lot lower down here, I think, mate. A bit closer to Antarctica, so.
Yeah, no, they're definitely cold. It's like icicles dripping out of the shower head.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, well, mate, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to following your journey and seeing how you go. So, like, apart from like Tassie Builders Blog, Haven Homes, you got a page. Like that the best place for people to get in contact with you?
Yeah. Well, Haven Homes more in the future once I start putting more business content up there, especially if your client reach out on that. But Tassie Builders Blog's where I hang out most of the time. And if you got a question or you just want to shoot the shit, just send me a message. Yeah.
No, well, mate, take my hat off to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Look, as usual, if you've got a lot of value out of this podcast, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all those types of things because, yeah, we can't continue to bring you incredible guests like Sean here without your support. So, have a cracking one and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Are you ready to build smarter, live better and enjoy life? Then head over to livelifebuild.com/elevate to get started.
Everything discussed during the Level Up podcast with me, Duayne Pearce, is based solely on my own personal experiences and those experiences of my guests. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. We recommend that you obtain your own professional advice in respect to the topics discussed during this podcast.